to consider the possibility that the Indiana Fever are in on the plot to destroy Caitlin Clark. Stephanie White is an idiot, should be fired.
Social media is going absolutely insane. Sports reporters are scrambling. Fans are losing their minds. Why? Because whispers are spreading like wildfire through the corridors of Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Could Larry Bird, the legendary Boston Celtic, the hick from French Lick himself, actually be considering a return to coaching with the Indiana Fever? The Indiana Fever just came off their most successful season in nearly a decade, riding the incredible wave of Caitlin Clark's rookie phenomenon. But here's where it gets crazy. Christie Sides was fired as head coach in October 2024, despite leading the team to their first playoff appearance since 2016. The organization brought back Stephanie White as their new head coach, but what if, and hear me out, what if there's more to this story than meets the eye? Larry Bird hasn't coached since his incredible 3-year stint with the Indiana Pacers from 1997 to 2000, where he achieved something that still gives basketball purists chills. He took a struggling franchise and transformed them into a legitimate championship contender, posting a remarkable 147-67 record and reaching the NBA Finals in 2000.
With position, he fakes it and shoots it good. Bird have had great games against each other this year. DJ in the lane, Bird the follow-away is good.
But that was 25 years ago. The man is now 68 years old, and conventional wisdom says his coaching days are over. But conventional wisdom has never applied to Larry Bird. Just 2 days ago, Basketball Insiders revealed something that sent shockwaves through the community. Larry Bird himself admitted that the coaching itch still gets to him sometimes. Think about that for a moment. The man who revolutionized basketball as a player, who transformed the Pacers as a coach, who built championship teams as an executive, he's still feeling that competitive fire burning inside him. Now here's where this story takes a dramatic turn that nobody saw coming. The Indiana Fever organization isn't just any WNBA team anymore. They're sitting on a goldmine. Caitlin Clark's rookie season didn't just break records, it shattered them into a million pieces. Attendance skyrocketed. Television ratings went through the roof. Merchandise sales exploded. The Fever went from being a struggling franchise to becoming the most watched, most talked about team in women's basketball history.
Sheesh, guys. It's wild that a league would do this to the one person in their 20-plus years of existence who could actually pull them out of obscurity and into the spotlight.
But success brings pressure, enormous pressure. The kind of pressure that demands not just any coach, but a legendary coach. Someone who understands what it means to handle superstar talent. Someone who's been in the pressure cooker of championship expectations. Someone who knows how to transform raw potential into championship gold. Enter Larry Bird. Think about the connections that are absolutely mind-blowing here. Bird spent decades with the Indiana Pacers organization in various roles. As coach, as president of basketball operations, as a consultant. He knows Indiana basketball better than almost anyone alive. The Pacers and Fever share the same ownership group under Herb Simon. They play in the same building. They're practically family. But here's the kicker that'll blow your mind. Larry Bird has never coached women's basketball. Not once, not ever. For a man who conquered every single challenge the basketball world threw at him, this represents the ultimate uncharted territory, the final frontier for a legend who has literally nothing left to prove. The timing couldn't be more perfect and more terrifying at the same time. Caitlin Clark isn't just any rookie. She's a generational talent who draws comparisons to basketball's greatest players. She needs a coach who understands what it's like to carry the weight of an entire sport on their shoulders. Larry Bird carried that weight for the entire decade of the 1980s when he and Magic Johnson saved the NBA from irrelevance and turned it into a global phenomenon.
Who are you enjoying watching right now?
Who is everyone enjoying watching? Caitlin Clark. I love her intensity. I love that. Obviously, she's a young player and still has so much, development ahead of her. But I think her smarts, the way she reads the game, the way she passes the ball, the way she shoots the ball, she can get to the basket, change a pace, and I feel like she probably has the pressure of the world on her shoulders.
Who better to guide Clark through the pressures of superstardom than someone who lived it, who thrived in it, who conquered it? But let's get real about the obstacles here, because they're absolutely massive. Larry Bird would be stepping into completely uncharted waters. The WNBA is a different league with different rhythms, different challenges, different dynamics. At 68 years old, could he adapt his legendary basketball mind to an entirely new context? The man who famously demanded perfection from NBA superstars, could he channel that same intensity in a way that elevates WNBA players? Then there's the physical reality. Coaching is brutal on the body. The travel, the long seasons, the emotional toll, it's a young person's game. Bird has dealt with back problems throughout his post-playing career. Is his body capable of handling the rigors of coaching at the highest level again? But here's what makes this possibility so absolutely electrifying. Larry Bird has never backed down from a challenge. Never. When people said a slow white kid from Indiana couldn't dominate in the NBA, he proved them wrong by becoming one of the greatest players in history. When people said he couldn't coach, he took the Pacers to the NBA Finals. When people said he couldn't build a championship team as an executive, he assembled the teams that challenged LeBron James's Miami Heat. Every single time someone doubted Larry Bird, he responded by achieving something extraordinary. The financial implications alone are staggering. If Larry Bird came out of coaching retirement for the Indiana Fever, it would generate media coverage worth millions. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth, and having a legend like Bird involved would accelerate that growth beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Television networks would be fighting tooth and nail for broadcasting rights. Corporate sponsors would be throwing money at the Fever faster than you could count it. Season ticket sales would go through the stratosphere. We're talking about a potential economic impact that could reshape not just the Fever franchise, but the entire WNBA landscape. But this isn't just about money. This is about legacy. Larry Bird's legacy is already cemented in basketball immortality. He's in the Hall of Fame as a player. His coaching achievements speak for themselves. His executive tenure was remarkably successful. But coaching in the WNBA, especially during this historic moment when women's basketball is exploding into mainstream consciousness, that would be something entirely different. That would be revolutionary. The basketball world is desperate for this kind of storyline. Fans are craving authenticity, craving genuine basketball excellence, craving stories that remind us why we fell in love with this beautiful game in the first place. The psychology of this potential move is fascinating. Larry Bird thrives on challenges that others consider impossible. He's motivated by proving doubters wrong. He's driven by the pursuit of excellence in its purest form. Coaching in the WNBA during this explosive growth period would represent the ultimate test of his basketball genius. And let's talk about what this would mean for women's basketball. Having a legend like Larry Bird invest his time, energy, and reputation in the WNBA would send a message that reverberates throughout the entire sports world. It would legitimize women's basketball in the eyes of skeptics. It would attract media attention that money simply cannot buy. It would elevate the profile of every single player in the league. Caitlin Clark has already proven she can handle enormous pressure and expectations. She thrived under the microscope during her college career at Iowa. She's handled her rookie season with remarkable poise and maturity. But having Larry Bird in her corner would take her development to levels we can barely imagine.
Talk about the WNBA before Caitlin Clark and the WNBA after Caitlin Clark. Describe these two worlds.
Oh, entirely different. 180, you know. The WNBA before started in 1997, the year after the Atlanta Olympics, and was launched into a time when women's sports was still not taken seriously by a lot of, people in this country.
Think about the basketball IQ combination. Clark's incredible court vision and basketball instincts, combined with Bird's legendary strategic mind and competitive fire. It's a combination that could produce basketball magic we've never seen before. The mentorship possibilities are absolutely mind-blowing. Bird could teach Clark things about handling pressure that no other coach possibly could. He understands what it's like to be the face of basketball during a transformative era. He knows how to channel individual excellence into team success. He's mastered the art of elevating everyone around him to their absolute peak performance. But perhaps most importantly, Larry Bird understands winning. Not just regular season success, but championship-level winning. The kind of winning that requires sacrifice, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to excellence that separates champions from everyone else. The Indiana Fever have all the pieces in place for something special. They have a generational talent in Caitlin Clark. They have rising stars like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. They have an organization committed to winning and a fan base that's absolutely electric with enthusiasm. What they potentially need is that final piece, a coach who can take all that talent and mold it into something truly championship caliber. Could Larry Bird be that missing piece? Could the Hick from French Lick make one final return to coaching glory, this time in the WNBA? Could we witness the ultimate basketball fairy tale, a Boston Celtic legend guiding an Indiana team to heights they've never reached before? The basketball gods seem to be aligning for something extraordinary. The timing, the talent, the opportunity, everything is perfectly positioned for what could be the most shocking and thrilling coaching move in basketball history. We're living in the most exciting era of women's basketball in history. The talent level has never been higher. The fan interest has never been more intense. The financial opportunities have never been greater. And right in the middle of this basketball revolution sits the Indiana Fever, perfectly positioned to capitalize on this historic moment. All they need is the right leader, someone who understands excellence, someone who's been tested in the crucible of championship pressure, someone whose very presence would elevate everyone around them to levels they never thought possible. Someone exactly like Larry Bird. The question isn't whether Larry Bird could coach the Indiana Fever. The question is whether he will, whether he's ready for one final challenge, whether he's prepared to add one more chapter to his already legendary basketball story. And if he is, if Larry Bird decides to step back into the coaching arena with the Indiana Fever, we could be witnessing the beginning of something absolutely legendary. The basketball world is holding its breath. Fans are refreshing their social media feeds every few minutes. Sports reporters are working their sources overtime, because everyone knows that if this happens, if Larry Bird actually becomes involved with the Indiana Fever in a coaching capacity, it won't just be big news, it'll be history-making news. The kind of news that transforms franchises, elevates leagues, and creates stories that get passed down through generations of basketball fans. Because if it happens, and the signs are pointing towards something absolutely electric, we're all going to witness basketball history in the making. The legend could be coming home, and when Larry Bird comes home to Indiana basketball, magic happens. What do you think? Could Larry Bird actually be considering a return to coaching with the Indiana Fever? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you want to see this legendary pairing happen, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Share this video with every basketball fan you know, because this could be the beginning of something absolutely legendary.